right hand on the floor, with the right leg on the floor. Keep your hands here, gently going to the third warrior with the namaskar posture in your hands, and then going back. On the left leg, moving up, and then going back. We want to squat all the way down, all the way to the deep squat. If there is any limitation in your knees, if you cannot go as deep, just go as far as you can. But the same thing as we did for the abs, go really slow. Bend your knees, keep your back straight. Let us go down as slow as possible. As slow as possible. See where your limitation is coming. You can just stay there. Few seconds. And now moving on to downward dog. Right here, just playing around a bit. Bend and stretch. Right there in your knees, moving your ankles up and down, pressing the heels up and down. This is one of the most important exercises in yoga. Downward dog, as you know already. This one, with the combination of this one, helped me actually to bring my hips after an accident that I had. Again in symmetry, again in alignment. Back, I think it was around 5-6 years ago, I had an accident that I fell on the metal part and I actually hit it right on my tailbone. So my hip shifted for 3 to 4 millimeters. It was really painful. Doctors told me either a surgery or you should walk for your whole life. Kind of not aligned. And I thought that doesn't really work this way. So I started bringing these therapy exercises to yoga, moving a lot, and actually after 3 months it healed completely. So just being around here, moving, and see what really helps, what doesn't work, see what is painful, what is resisting. This will give you kind of a view about your body. If you're having any burning sensations in an exercise, it doesn't mean you should fully skip it. It means maybe there is something to that exercise that can help you. All right, slowly, knees on the ground. Relax for a second. Right now I'm in Turkey, in Ankara, and the culture here is quite different. In some streets they go with the car, they have some loudspeakers. I don't understand them, but they want to sell something. So if you hear some background noises, there are guys with their car going the streets and shouting, I sell cabbage, or I sell onions. It's hard for me actually to understand why. I mean, we have all the social media, all the network, you can just sell something. But it's deep in the culture, something from old time. We had it in Iran too. And it's really normal here. So if you have a good background music, try to enjoy it. All right, moving on. We want to do another round of downward dog. But this time I want you to bend your knees, bend the left knee, bring the toe up, and change. Kind of in a flexed calf and quads position. We are flexing your hamstring also. So here and here. If you need any break in between, please just take a break, few seconds. You have the recording already, you can pause the video and come back. Then we want to switch to balancing exercise, which means left foot with my right arm, but I bend it too. Try to bend it in the same direction, which means my hand is facing, my fingers are pointing up. So bend, bend, bend. Focusing on your shoulders. This is working on your core, actually the whole body. All right, walk back Breathe in, out. How do you feel? We want to continue with our next round. Step forward. This time we want to do the same movement that we started with some rotations for each side and then continue. Namaskar. Going up with the left leg. Open in the rotation. Try to keep your balance and come back. Up with the right leg. Open up and come back. Another round. Going down parallel to the floor, face to the wall and come back and here. Challenging with balance, you need a lot of core stability. That's what we are working on again. All right, right here. Now I want you to keep the torso really straight, facing forward. As you saw, I just stepped. Step with your right foot in the middle without looking down, without looking anywhere else, just forward. Step back with your left leg and go to a really deep, deep, deep lunge. See how far you can go. If you have any ankle mobility issues, if it's not as flexible, just bring it up, but bring your knee a bit forward. If you can, also push your heel down, just here. Now we want to press up again, all the way up, going forward where we started. You see we are doing 1 rep, but because of the deep range of motion, the effect is as if you are doing 10 basic lunges. Looking forward, really straight, slowly controlled, going back, and a deep, deep lunge until you land. Absolute control, master the control here. Touch the ground as if you are doing the softest land that you always want the pilot to land that way. The last second of landing is always, how is he gonna do it? How is she gonna do it? All the way forward, feel the activation in your tibialis. Then we want to come back, press up. Feel it in your thighs, relax. Breathe in, breathe out. We want to go to Utkat Asana or the stool pose. Hold it there for some seconds, then go to the deep squat and hold it there for some seconds too. Arms up, breathe in, keep your back straight. Go so far that you can almost say the thighs or the hamstrings are parallel to the floor. Few seconds here. Keeping your smile on your face. Of course, I don't see you, but I feel if you are smiling or if you are suffering. Then dropping to the deep one, or as far as you can go, and another round of downward dog. Here, if you are actually advancing, if you are improving in yoga, would be your resting position. You will find it really calming and relaxing to be in downward dog because of the stretch which is happening in your legs, in your ankles, in your Achilles, in your back, in your shoulders. The neck is finally relaxing, your head. So we continue on the previous challenge, but a bit more challenging. Remember this one? Now we want to do the same side. Left foot, left arm. Right leg, right arm. Breathing, continue. If you need a break, take the break. Last one. And relax. The relaxation can be done in any form. I know some of you have knee issues. You don't have to relax here. You can just extend your legs, place your hands behind you, and relax. Asking yourself all the time, how did this exercise now put some effect on my feeling? How do I feel right now? How is it in my legs? How do I feel in my back, my shoulders? How is my breathing? Just be with yourself constantly. We want to feel the body more and more. I also worked in different health centers, acupuncture, alternative health centers, and sometimes some patients come and you see that the sickness, the disease has come to a really critical point, but they didn't really notice it, they didn't feel it. I always get surprised. How can you not feel, for example, you're not feeling good? Nothing is, for example, going really right, or there is something wrong with my shoulder, with my heart, with my eyes. Because we don't have that connection anymore with the body. With yoga, with this observation, every time we are trying to connect more, observe more. And what will happen when we connect and observe? We understand. Same with our body, same with some other one, your partner, your colleague, family, your child. Observation, an open eye observation, which means observation without judgment, that we're not saying, okay, I know how it is, defining positive or negative. At the end will lead to some deeper understanding. And understanding, as you know, is a form of love. If you really love someone, you can say you understand them fully. All right, good rest, a philosophical rest. Moving on to our next exercise. Coming from downward dog, I want you to do a shoulder tap, step a little back. Shoulder tap, step back. Shoulder tap, step back, all the way. If you can reach the floor, or all the way to a good deep leg stretch. As always, we are not leaning back on our heels. Come more on your toes. Flex your quads and make a beautiful straight back. Hold it here. Breathe in and out. Good one. Feels better now in the legs. And now we want to move on again. But before, how is it going? How is the heartbeat? How is the heart? How are your lungs? Just observing. All right. Next round, a bit more dynamic. You need a bit of more space, a bit more creative. I will show to you what I have in mind. Then hopefully we can all perform it together. We want to go to a connected flows of second warrior. Starting from the more balancing hip opener version, landing in the second warrior. I want you to breathe in, stretch to the right, then we will go up, switch to the other side, stretch, go up, and repeat. So it would be kind of a connected flow, right, left. Right side, second warrior, moving to the side stretch, up, landing, and so on. Let's do it together. On your right leg, hip opener, second warrior, right hand relaxes, stretch fully, coming up, switching, stretching, coming up, and here, all the way up. If you can balance it like me, try to find your balance, landing. This is kind of a halfway, you can say. When we finish on the left side, so on the second warrior, I want you to do a opposite stretch, come up and switch. All right, hopefully you understood it. Doesn't matter, we will do a few rounds together. Starting from up in the air, come down, stretch, up, we switch. In the air, oh, now the balance is good. Down, stretch, and opposite stretch. Now we change directly to the opposite stretch of the right side. In the air, land, right, left side in the air. This movement actually is really important. I want you to fully focus on it. Just this one. We are really engaging your hips. The mobility is absolutely involved. We worked on it, remember at the beginning with the dance move a bit. So from here, switch, stretch, switch first, in the air, landing, stretch, opposite. Going to the other side, in the air, landing, right side, going up, switch, in the air, landing, here, opposite, opposite, in the air. This will be our final round. I know it's quite challenging and tiring. In the air, up, moving on, and finishing. Now when you come up, just observe. You should feel it here in your love handles. You should feel it in your whole body. And obviously because of the rapid movement, your heartbeats are faster, your breathing is faster, your body's temperature has increased. Kind of moving towards aerobic, but doing also yoga, you can call it Pilates also. Moving in a stretch, using your core stability, using your muscles, using balance. This will give you a lot of benefits. So moving on, now I want to bend from this center. Imagine the rest is a plank, head to your hip and hip to the feet, but we have only this hinge connection in the hip. So from here, breathe in, keep it straight and bend. As far as you can go. Maybe you place your hands on your shins, maybe on your knees, maybe on the floor, but stay where you are. So either you can keep your legs straight in this posture, or you have to bend your knees in order to keep your hands on the floor. We want to go back, but in a asymmetrical movement, which means first your right leg and left hand will go back. My left hand is crossing, and then the opposite side. We want to do it in really small steps. It's kind of a mind game using your body, so body-mind connection. Left hand, right leg, right hand, left leg. Left hand, right leg, right hand, left leg. Until you reach the end of your yoga mat. And then from here, bend your knees, keep your hands closer. We want to do a shoulder touch and go all the way forward until we reach to downward dog. Right hand to the left shoulder, opposite, touch, 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 then stay in downward dog. Breathe in and out. Just observing the sensations. So, since we have many advanced students also, from here I want to show you a variation. The full variation would be a complete form of headstand. And if you're a beginner, we will just bring one leg up in the air, just to bring a whole flow of blood to the head. This will really help to rest your heart as well. I will show it to you, then we do it together. From downward dog, we rest our knees, we place our elbows on the floor. I always measure this way, so I should be able to just barely grab with my fingers on the edge of my elbow. This is the measure you want to have. You don't want to be too close, you want to be too wide. Here, then you have your fingers together. And the headstand is actually more a forearm stand. So you have this area on the floor, not everything on your head. I would say just 10%, maybe 5% of your weight would be here. So your neck should be much freer than you think. The rest is resting on your forearms. All right. Here, fingers together, top of my head on the floor. This is how it looks like. If you have any neck issues, not recommended. We'll do something else, you can let me know. Then you go up. So until here is already a good basic version. If you have never done it, you can try with one leg, you can switch. If you're advanced, you can try to go on the toe, lip a bit up. If you're more advanced, you can switch in the air. You can also stay up there, but what is more challenging than staying up is this, touching, going up. Touching, going up. You can just see which version you want to do, but the most important thing is, if you are a beginner, come really close to the wall so you don't fall down. If you fall, it would be just a centimeter touch to the wall. Therefore, in your shoes, I will be doing it here. You see, I'm really close to the wall, so I can gently lean to the wall by doing it. You can pause the video, do it a few times. It's important that you go really gently, come back, no speed needed, especially in these exercises. And then when you come back, always rest. You could be resting here if you have any knee issues, or you could be resting in child pose, relaxing the body, moving a bit to the right and to the left. Of course, headstand is a challenging exercise. If this is your first time, do not expect that you can manage it right away. It will take some time. You find that connection with your body where you have to contract. And step by step, like anything in life, with practice you can manage it. All right, going back up, breathing in, breathing out. We want to dive now into our deepest stretches. You're warmed up, the body is ready. Right away with the right leg. We're going for pigeon pose, as you know. Stepping back with your knee. So this is actually very good control for the exercise. Many times I see that we are being busy. If I have to close this leg, if I have to keep it opened up, just put it in a comfortable place, but then focus on this knee, and you can use it actually with your left toe. So as you see, I can start here. If I feel I can go more, I step back. And the stretch is in the right thigh / hamstring. Amazing for your back, sciatica. Many deep traumas that we keep in the body are stored in our hip region. And since we are not really moving the hips, really using the range of motion in the hips, usually we are sitting, which is the worst thing for the hips and back. We store the traumas there. So this exercise will help you a lot to release them. Left arm, stretch your right hand, looking back. Coming up, I want you to switch to the other side, stepping, controlling with your toes if you want to go back with your knee. And again, just like many exercises, it's not about reaching with your face to the floor and going really deep. It's more about the correct form. If you're right here in the correct form, you will get much more benefit than doing this. Right elbow, right forearm, and then point up with the left hand. Or here. Going back with your hands behind you just a few times, right and left. And now we want to do a bit of different stretch for your hips. So right now we did this stretch in pigeon pose. We have the outer part of your knee. Now we are doing the opposite stretch, laying down here. If you have sensitive knees, just keep your angle between the knee a bit larger. So either you can start in a full bend mode, which will really stretch your quads and thighs. I give already a warning. And if that's too much for you, you can start with like a 90-degree landing. Maybe your knee will come up, that's not a problem, you can always adjust it. Or you go into the full stretch, very deep thigh opener. I also feel it, it's not just like I don't feel any stretch, but I keep my face relaxed. With many people, or most people, when there is tension, you see it also in their face. But in yoga, we learn how we can separate these things. This is also the same thing that we want to talk about. When a trauma, when something happens in life, how we can separate the body ourselves from it. The other side, either a full bend or a bit opener, then you go to the exercise. You can also stay just on your forearms and elbows if it's too much, and then see if you can land fully or not, doesn't matter. Just you feel a bit of a stretch, you feel good, you're doing fine. Excellent job. A bit of back relaxation, back massage, some circulation.